Sally Forth Paladins, and welcome to the final battle against the Lyran Star Empire. Yes, it is time for the big show that causes all the fun in the galaxy. 3 Monarch-class battleship carriers versus 3 Cave Lion battleships. 3 heavy bombardment cruisers versus 3 X-type... where are they? 3 X-type heavy cruisers and 3 of our X-type destroyers versus 3 of their X-type destroyers. 18 ships enter, only potentially 1 will leave, and hopefully we can completely annihilate them. We are sending all of our fighters forward, it would look like, and half of the group has decided that they're not going to quite be involved in this. So I'm going to hold on. Actually, no, we're going to put our fighters out, deploy them in defense right away, get them all set up to defend ourselves. We, of course, need to get our forward shield reinforcement popping on at full power. In addition to our electronic countermeasures, we're going to go for the 4 and the 2. They have already laid into the enemy, dealt a little bit of damage, but it looks like they're pursuing the enemy fighters way off in the distance. Oh, are they coming back around? Our heavy bombardment cruisers in a great position to help defend and intercept. Their X-type cruisers probably going to munch on our scouts pretty badly, and their X-type destroyers with their deadly lances could really lay into us. That's the first of the enemy battleships down. We'll be coming in to hopefully knock out the second. How's our power system going in? 19 points of power ought to be more than enough. Let's go take this guy off the table. We were a little bit too far in order to make the shots count. Gatling phasers only now just coming into range. We set our systems to normal mode on the Hellbores at this point. And we did take a little bit of a glancing blow from the side on that third battleship right there. But we're about to follow up with what I think... Well, I thought it was going to be the final kill, but nope. Required the heavy bombardment cruisers to take him out completely. The final battleship has been located as we start to come around. One of our battleships being staggered quite heavily by incoming enemy fire. Not sure if that's because he deployed a mine or because he's already lost that shield, but we're going to be finding out in relatively short order, I feel. Start to reduce the speed of the ship. We need to get a little bit more power into our aggressive offensive systems. Do I want to set the... I kind of do want to set the fusion cannons back to normal power, just because the amount of power we'll save. I did not realize we were quite this close to the enemy within a range of 5, so we're just going to pound away with our phasers and Gatling phasers. Throw those into the mix as well. We do want to take out their big, heavy battleships at this point, because if we can knock those out, then that'll be a huge source of their power. Although, technically, I suppose, their X-type destroyers and heavy cruisers do a lot more damage. Come on, fusion cannons. I need these fusion cannons to fire. There we go. That's the last one. And the last of our fusion cannons over there. Okay, from now on, fusion cannons to normal mode. We don't need the heavy penetrating firepower. We just need to start getting underway. Have I deployed my fighters? I think they're already dead. They're not, but they're somewhere around here. I just don't know where. So fighters, defend me. Stay extra close and hang out and have fun. I do, of course, want to be defended. He is just flying point-blank range to me this whole time. Well, if he just wants to keep orbiting, I'll just keep laying into him. Let's get some repairs underway. We've taken one heck of a pounding, and we do need our phasers and other defensive systems back online if we want to actually pull this fight out. So, the XDDs of the enemy, very dangerous with their lances. Although, luckily for us, we have managed to weave them concealing it. And there goes the heavy bombardment cruiser, just lay it into him from on distance. And those Hellbores really doing a number on him, have taken out most of his defensive systems at this point. I think he'll be dead in shortly. Oh, we're going to capitalize on him attempting to drop his forward shield for a little bit of mine shenanigans, dealing a little bit more damage onto him. Starting to cut through his aft shield, starting to rip through his defenses at this point. I don't... Oh, their XCAs are way off over there. Luckily, our scouting forces have delayed them pretty considerably. We should be able to finish off both the battleships and the X-type destroyers before anything too badly gets stuck in it, and that'll leave our bombardment cruisers versus their heavy cruisers, and as well as our Monarch-class battleship carriers. Not quite sure where my fighters are at this point, but it's not a huge deal at the moment because we got this mostly sorted. We just need to get the weapons back online, and we're working on that bit by bit with the repair teams. I think that's my fighters. Lovely. Alright, so one more Lyran destroyer is left. Apparently appears to be dead in the water. So, yeah, we can basically we'll start picking up some speed, getting the systems repaired, as well as power restored to all ship's systems. Put the Gatling at the bottom, because the Gatlings take forever. And we'll start repairing our Hellbores, and then our fusion cannon on top of that one. So we are down just to a single enemy heavy cruiser. No, there are 3 of them. Yeah, 3 enemy heavy cruisers remain. We're going to start leaping in towards one of them, supporting our heavy bombardment cruiser over here, and keeping all systems on the repair continuously. Not quite sure where my fighter squadron has gone. They're still out there somewhere. I think they're all over there. So I think we also have all 3 of our battleships too. That's working out definitely in our favor. Oh, you're coming in nice and close for a final killing shot right here. Wait for it, and 2.5. Hit him. Ripped him apart. How many of these are left? I think they've killed the last of our scouts. But in the amount of time that those scouts bought us, we have wiped out all of their battleships as well as all of their heavy cruisers. And we have not lost, I don't think, a single one of our XCVs, 1, 2, and 3, nor one of our battleships. So it's 6 on 2. Yeah, somebody's in a little bit of a rough spot at the moment. So our power repairs have completed, although the actual ship system repairs are still being worked on. And we just need to basically dive on top of these last couple of them. This one seems to be pretty roughly damaged. This one is about to be pretty roughly damaged as the heavy bombardment cruisers just rip open his forward shield, following up with a whole ton of Hellbore shells that way to make sure that he just continually takes damage on that forward shield, making it impossible for him to effectively engage anybody from the front. We're going to pursue this one because I think by the time that we turned into that one, he'd be gone. You know what? Give him a little bit of parting phaser fire from the aft firing phaser. So we have this situation pretty much well in hand, I feel. The might of the Hydra Navy will not be denied as we bring in our most powerful and advanced cruisers to wipe out the enemy. Now, the reason, by the way, that they're using XCAs instead of their own XCBs is because the Lyran XCB has 14 disruptors, and that's kind of it. Whereas the XCA has the much more devastating ESG Lance, which is just an absurd weapon system that does amazing sorts of damage. And I really do think it's the better of the 2 ships when compared to the 2. Also, the number of... there we go, tore you apart. The number of escorts that they receive is pretty significant as well. So on to the final vessel. They still haven't managed to get a good hit on one of our XCBs or our Monarchs. I'm really surprised that all of our Monarchs made it out of that battle alive. I did not expect them to get out. I did very much expect them to die, or at least one of them to die at the mast bumping that I was anticipating coming from the enemy battleships. So we're going to send in our fighters on the last group. They shall all dive in on the enemy. Although not that there's much of him left at this point. Most of his ship systems are down, and every single Hellbore hit just immediately gets through the shields without fail. Oh, he is just in a terrible, terrible shape at this point. One of the better, probably one of the best Lyran vessels, to be completely honest. I mean, I suppose there's a case to be made for the Cave Line, but really, ESG Lances are just insane in the amount of damage that they deal. And they can't miss. That's the other amazing thing about them. So let's just get nice and close and finish him off. And the final battle has been completed. The Lyrans have lost to the Hydrans as we conquer the rest of their territory. Victory has been assured. And that's going to do it for Season 13 entirely. We have completed all of it. The final battle, the fight through all of the spaces, the final duel against their starbases and their BBXs. It's all over. Season 13 is officially done, and as we look on towards Thursday for Season 14 and whatever that may bring. What will it bring? I'm actually not sure just yet. I still haven't decided. So get your last-minute votes in now. It's Gorn, ISC, or Romulan for the faction that we will play. So anyway, I have been Tirak. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see a notification every time some of these videos, press that little bell icon. Leave a comment as to which nation you want us to see played in the next season, and I will see you all in that next season.